All right, Shalom. First and foremost, we want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai Ba'ashem Akakwadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles, the great millstone that taught me this truth. And Shalom to the hopeful elect. All right, the Akim and the Akwaf that have returned to the obedience of the scriptures through faith in Yahweh Shai. All right, Yahweh Shai Hamashiach, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. And I want to touch on an article real quick that I saw um, in regards to um, the next domino, if you will, um, that we know is getting ready to take place, right? Because now that this war in the Middle East has amped up, right? It's intensifying. All right, we're getting ready to see um, the same play that Esau Edom continues to use, which is basically using these, you know, so-called, using these wars, using these different things that the media, okay, will take and they'll use it to basically demonize a group of people. All right, and that's what we're getting ready to see here. We're getting ready to see um, the whole thing in the Middle East in regards to Hamas. All right, in regards to the Palestinians, we're getting ready to see something take place here in Babylon the Great. All right, here in the shores of America. All right, and we know that more than likely it's going to be um, set up. It's going to be staged. Not staged. It might be real, but either way, it's whether it's staged by Esau or whether you know whatever happens, we know it's all the will of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. All right, and we know that the famine of the word has to come. Okay, and the persecution has to come. All right, those are the things that we're basically awaiting. All right. So I wanted to touch on this article real quick because it kind of goes into that. And I'm gonna bring out a few precepts, okay? Because again, we're this ministry, this truth going out on the internet, all right, in the form of brothers with YouTube pages and Odyssey pages, all right. Those days are coming to a close. All right. The days of this word having free course um are coming to a close, and the ministry is about to shift into a different phase and a different season. Okay, and the scriptures talk about that. Matter of fact, we can start off with that. Let's get that real quick. All right, this is let me go to Ecclesiastes 3. This is Ecclesiastes chapter 3 and verse 1. It says, "To everything there is a season and a time to every purpose under heaven." All right. So again, an easy example is, you know, the seasons we have in the form of, summer or spring, summer, fall, and winter, right? And in each one of those seasons, right, different things are taking place on the planet Earth, right? But the same thing goes for prophecy, right? The same thing goes for the events that take place on the planet Earth, and that's why the scriptures talk about, um, being occupied in prophecies. Okay, being occupied in prophecies because again, things are shifting. All right, and a so-called attack here on the shores of America is what will be used to take the next steps in the fulfillment of the so-called NWO, the fulfillment of you know, this world, this new digital, world that the powers that be are trying to roll out. It's all part of the plan. All right, as brothers go into. All right, so the name of the article, it's on Natural News, came out today. All right, it says law enforcement spreading rumors about an impending Hamas attack on U.S. with risk of derailing the 2024 election. All right, and I'm just gonna read this, and I'm gonna pull a few precepts. Okay, it says, will the United States even make it to the 2024 election without a surprise incident that destabilizes the country and leads to martial law? All right, now martial law. All right, let's look up martial law real quick. From the dictionary definition, martial law, it says a military government involving the suspension of ordinary law. All right, so we read this Wikipedia. It says martial law is the replacement of civilian government by military rule and the suspension of civilian legal processes for military powers. All right, so essentially, when this happens, okay, similarly to when 9/11 happened, all your so-called rights, right, all your so-called privileges and licenses as American citizens, those are going to be out the window. All right, those are going to be completely out the window. It's going to be a whole different environment, right? And the scriptures actually prophesy about that. Let's actually get that. Let's get that real quick. Right. This is in the Apocrypha. This is second is 15, and I'll start at verse 14. It says, woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, meaning that destruction is rapidly approaching. That's what that means. It says, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. All right, going into basically, the various civil wars, the various skirmishes that you're going to have happen when they come down with these draconian measures, right? It's going to cause absolute chaos. All right, it's going to cause a resources, food, water, XYZ 1, 2, 3, right? It's going to cause all those things to be extremely limited. Okay, and all this is being done so that they can issue in the C-hip. Okay, that's the end goal, but it's a process, right? It's a process. It says, for there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another, they shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. Right. So you're gonna have people who, when martial law is basically implemented, you're gonna have people, basically bucking up against the government, right? Basically deciding not to, submit, right? And you're gonna have that for a short period of time, all right, until that famine hits, okay, until that pestilence hits, okay, that's coming, all right. And then once these plagues that the Most High has prepared, once they begin to really hit, then people are gonna calm their ass down. All right. And then even on top of that, all right, the Lord is gonna put the spirit on Esau to really get busy. All right, to really start using that sword. And I believe through the spirit, he's gonna make a lot of examples out of people. There's gonna be a lot of people getting mowed down, man. Because again, this martial law that's coming, okay, really, really the United States government, like they talk about in some of these right wing news platforms, like Alex Jones and Brighteon is another one. The so-called U.S. government is really a thing of the past. All right, the U.S., which is a corporation, is really ran by international players, right? AKA the international banking families of Esau Edom. Okay, the so-called white man. All right, and even people behind the scenes that we don't even know about, who we know are Edomites, right? So again, we're getting ready to enter into some very serious times. And again, a lot of people right now are acting as if they're gonna thug it out. They're acting as if they're gonna be all right. And you're gonna have people, even when stuff starts to get tight, that are gonna, might resist for a little bit. But at the end of the day, man, this is all coming from the Most High. This is all coming from Yahweh Shem Shai. And a part of this judgment is to break these people, man. Absolutely break them, all right, and force them to submit unto the sea hip so that he could melt these people. That's a part of the script, all right. So this is verse 17. It says, "A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able." All right, and that's that martial law that we're talking about. All right, ultimately, you're not even going to be able to travel anywhere. You're not going to be able to go to the grocery store. You're not going to be able to go to the library. You're not going to be able to go to work or anywhere, all right, without having the you know what. All right, that's going to be mandatory for you to operate within this system. Okay, so let's go back to the article. All right, this is it says, will the United States even make it to the 2024 election without a surprise incident that destabilizes the country and leads to martial law? Many say no, and a new warning from the Department of Homeland Security suggests that another 9/11 style false, you know what, right, flag event is soon on the way. Now that the Israel Gaza war is in every country's media headlines, the rumor mill is spreading claims that Hamas is planning an attack on United States soil in the coming days. All right. The Jerusalem Post is reporting that Hamas could be planning a series of terror attacks on U.S. soil, which would conveniently precede the 2024 election and possibly cancel them. Now, what you need to be asking yourself is, if this was really such a concern of the government, right? If this was really such a concern, why are they letting millions of people come into the country unabated, all right, through the border, all right? But that shows you that this is all a plan. This is all being done intentionally. This is all being done intentionally. It reads, it says, and if I may add too, it's being done intentionally because who are they really after? All right, they're really after the men of the Lord. All right, they're really after you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, and especially those who know that they're Israelites, and especially those that are teaching teaching, okay, whether they're teaching the correct doctrine or not, right? Esau Edom is especially coming for you. All right. So this is let me get precept real quick. This is Psalms 37:12. It says, "The wicked plotteth against the just, and gnasheth upon him with his teeth. The Lord shall laugh at him, for he seeth that his day is coming." Right, and they're plotting against us right now. All right. And matter of fact, they've been plotting against us. This entire world system, okay, the beast, all right, and the whore that rideth upon the beast, all right, America, these Western European nations, right, in the form of NATO. All these governments have been plotting against you, so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. This entire system is basically weaponized against you. All right. And now Esau Edom is getting ready to come in for the kill. But again, we're not fearful of Esau. We understand that he's a hireling. Okay, he's under the control, he's under the jurisdiction of Yahweh Shem Shai. All right, and there's nothing that he can do unto any of us that is not sanctioned from on high. So you gotta have faith in that. All right, this is verse 14. It says, "The wicked have drawn out the sword and have bent their bow to cast down the poor and needy and to slay such as be of upright conversation." All right. And that upright conversation is this truth. Okay. The upright conversation is the truth about you so called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans being Israelites. All right. About um the powers to be, okay, we're getting on them, we're criticizing them about their rulership, right? Because they're absolutely destroying the planet Earth and the people that dwell therein, right? That's the upright conversation that they're so mad about, right? Us actually calling them out on this bullshit, But that's okay. He's created to be the devil, he's created to be the adversary. All right. And we have no problem, all right, standing up for what's right, man. You know? So let me jump back real quick. This is it says already. Let me start up here. It says in testimony before the US House of Representatives Homeland Security Committee, Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas talked openly about this alleged security threat, making sure to pin the not happened incident on series of incidents on Hamas. Already in the weeks since the assessment publication, the world has changed after Hamas terrorists viciously attacked thousands of innocent men, women, and children on October 7th, 2023, brutally murdering, wounding, and taking hostages of all ages, Mayorkas said in a prepared speech. All right. And then also I want to add too, um, again, we're getting ready to be grouped in with all this madness with the Hamas. You already have people like what is his name? Uh Charleston White, right? A brother sent a video in the chat of one of Charleston White's recent interviews when he was asked about the Israel Hamas situation. And he basically likened the Palestinians unto black people in America. He basically said we're one and the same thing. So you even got these puppets like Charleston White that are set up, right? Even they're going along with this whole thing, right? They're trying to link the two, even though we're completely unrelated. All right. It says, if anything, Israel or the U.S. itself is planning a Hamas attack. It says, just like with ISIS and Al Qaeda and many boogeymen before them, Hamas has become the Zionist state's whipping boy. Nations controlled by Zionist leaders, which includes the U.S., seem to be gearing up for the next phase of war as it trickles out of the Middle East. Okay, so this is just the beginning. All right, this is just the beginning. Okay, because again, Hamas is a pipsqueak, really. Right, Hamas is extremely insignificant in the grand scheme of things. But what the situation is getting ready to do is stir up all those other nations in the Middle East. All right, and ultimately Russia. Right. So it says with support for Israel at a dismal low, it would make sense for the powers that be, also known as the deep state, to stage another 9/11 style event that they can blame on Hamas as a pretext to justify sending more weapons and money to Israel, as well as further crackdown of civil liberties here in the States. All right, so it's a double whammy. Not only do they get to, bolster their military presence in the Middle East, which is a benefit, but they also get to pass more draconian laws, statutes, and commandments here in America. So you can see the motivation behind why they're doing all this. you know. So let me see if there's any more I want to get on this. So yeah, that's basically the point. I'm not going to read the whole thing. The point is, man. We're close. All right. The scriptures talk about being circumspect. All right. We're very close. Um, and through the spirit, things are getting ready to enter into a new phase over this next few months. So we got to remain circumspect. All right. And we got to keep our foot on the gas in regards to, you know, doing what we need to do, fulfilling our lot in all sincerity and all truth and all diligence, you know. So with that said, we give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, Bashem Kakudash. Shalom.